to, I'm sorry, let me start again. So hi everyone, good to see you all and good to see all these eager young people all out here and willing to learn. As George said, my name is Monica and I'm here in the capacity of a parent. I'm also a student of George, and I still call him to get information where I'm stuck. And I'm going to start with a word of prayer. And before I do, I just want to mention one thing. When I was growing up, I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to at least be a mom to these happy, eager faces that I see on the screen. When I was growing up, my dad always told me, or rather, my parents always told me, there is nothing better that I can give you as my child to equip you for this world than a good education and the knowledge of God. So the knowledge of God comes first and then a good education. And he kept telling me that that will take you places. And I didn't believe him. I didn't even know what he was talking about then. But now that I'm a mom myself, I can attest to that. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and open with a word of prayer, and then I'll move on to the next item. So let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for an opportunity to fellowship together, an opportunity, Jehovah God, to meet new faces, to connect, Jehovah God, in this big circle of love, oh God, this big circle of learning, Jehovah God. As we start this morning, we just surrender to you and we declare you are the one who teaches us the sciences of this world. You're the one who teaches us to profit, Jehovah God. I lay each and every child in your able hands, Jehovah God. I thank you for their parents who have even given them this opportunity. I thank you for these children who have even heeded to their parents' advice to come and learn. Whatever it is that they have desired to get out of this class, Father God, you're a rewarder and you will reward, Jehovah God, their efforts, oh God. Thank you even for the parents as they have surrendered their children to you. Thank you because you will teach them, oh God. Thank you even for the instructor and everybody who will be assisting George in this journey to get these children to another level. We declare, Father God, you give them the insight and the knowledge and the ways to know how to teach this future generation, oh God. As we start this today, as we start this day or this session, we surrender to your Lordship and the Lordship of the Holy Spirit. Guide us, lead us, and everything we say to each other, we declare it shall be for the glory and honor of your holy name. We love you. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you, Monica.
All right, you're welcome. So I just also wanted to say a little something about myself. I am Monica Jaga, and I, apart from being an alumni of George's class, I'm also in an IT professional. I have come a long way. I started off as I started working in this country. I'm currently in the US, and I started off as, places that I knew that wasn't where I had dreamt of, but I want to encourage each and every one of you who is here. It doesn't matter where you start, as long as you keep working towards your goal. Our God is a rewarder and he will take you to where you are. So currently I'm in the data profession, and during the pandemic, I had some downtime, so I decided to get it to another level, and that's how me and George connected. And why am I telling you this? Is because every day is a learning day. And as long as you open your mind to just wanting to learn new things and exposing yourself to the changes that are coming, yes, you will get to where you intend to be. And of course, there is hard work involved. And I know and believe that is why you're here, because unlike other children who have opted to do other stuff in summer, you have decided that you will learn. So before I start, or before I go to the next thing that I want to talk about, for each and every person who is here. I see Matt, I see Nicole, I see a lot of good faces. Please, if you haven't already done so, please thank your parents for allowing you an opportunity to explore the IT world, because that is where the future is headed. And I would also want you to give yourself a pat in the shoulder. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. That's to yourself, because you even accepted to be in a class while I know you could be doing everything that every other child wants to do out there. And you might be wondering, so what is this? Why did I even sign up for this? Did I make a right decision? I want to tell you that our research has been done. And once you get yourself in IT and knowing all this coding and everything that George has laid out for you, you will be helping yourself to learn. You're going to be ahead of the curve of everyone. And if you have noticed, for those of us who are in the US and even in Kenya, being around a computer has become the new classroom. Like when the COVID pandemic came, or when the pandemic came, there was this online school, and I can tell you, I'd been telling one of my close friends, you need to learn how to type, because that may just be the next big thing. And even before I finished talking, there it is. And also, guess what? You're also preparing yourself for future tech careers. Tech careers have a lot of money. I know everybody wants to be in a place where you get good money and become rich. You're heading in the right path. So do not even regret it. And guess what? Even with this, whatever you're trying to embark on, everything that George will teach you, you are going to improve your multitasking skills. Like you could be playing a video game and listening to your mom, which I hope you always do. And then you'll be ahead of the curve of everyone. And then research has also proved that you're going to have improved visual and spatial development. Like when it comes to reading things like maps, I know I struggled with that into high school, but you're going to be at an advantage because of what you have decided to do. And then guess what else? You will have improved problem solving and decision making. And this is the one thing that all the employers are looking for in corporate, or even if you decide to get your own business, this is something that you would be able to do very quickly, which could mean getting a lot of profit or even making more money than people who are in the same field of career or business. So with that said, I just want to show you a picture of a few things that I I have on here. And 1 second. Yeah, so just to give you an idea of why we even do what we do, I just want to give you an idea of where things have come from and where we are headed. I don't know what the future has, but I can see robots and all. And my hope is that you're going to be part of this big thing that is coming in the future. And that's why I am commending you for making this decision to be here. So when we were growing up, and maybe George and some of the people, Jackie and the parents can attest to seeing something like this. This used to be like how we used to make calls. You had to go to, we call them call boxes in Kenya to make a call. And guess what? Chem, IT, or technology, people thought, no, you don't really have to go outside to be rained on to make a call. So next came all these other things. So there came a phone that you could use in your house, and look, it came in the form of, I don't know what this looks like, but it looks funny. And then it kind of got molded on both sides. And then we got these phones here. If you're from Kenya, we used to call them Mulika Mwizi. And then we decided to get it flipped. And then guess what? Now we're using the slide phones. And nowadays, what has happened is, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I've been to gatherings where everybody's on their phone because they are chatting and trying to do things. But this has all taken people putting coding together, what you're going to be learning from George, and this is where we are. So the next thing that I wanted to show you is just evolution and how you're going to be part of the next big thing. And that is why I want you to be more excited about this. So if you look at this, I'm sure you either have a TV in your house or have seen one. So imagine in the 1930s, this is what they had for a TV. And then in the 20s, this is what we have. And guess what? The next big thing may be invented by Nate Muturi or Matt and Andrew, who knows? So just keep focused on this class and you're gonna go places. And then this is just an idea of how like communication has evolved. We used to have landlines, and then over time we started sending emails, and then now we can do everything on the phone. And eventually the next big thing, which is what I was studying in George's class, is called the artificial intelligence. And I want you guys to be part of this, and this, whatever you're learning from George, will get you to that next level. So I just want to let you know one thing. I know I've showed you all those things. There are some that you have never seen, but I know you're gonna see what you will make, because I believe in everybody who is here, and I pray to God that he sees you to where you wanna be. The one thing, if you forget everything I showed you or the pictures, just take these two home. The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it from you. And this is a quote from B.B. King. And what this means, as long as you're learning, you're enhancing yourself, nobody can take that from you. A job will come, a job, you can be fired or you can decide to quit, but as long as you have an education, it'll take you to the next place. And whenever you get to a place where you are employed, and I know you'll be going to school, always prioritize your education, because that job that you have could end or the company could go bankrupt, but your education will be there forever. So to land this plane, I want to leave you with something. I want you guys to be working together, because together we can accomplish a lot of things. So alone you're smart, but together we are brilliant. So that is by Steven Anderson. And I hope that you will enjoy each and everything that George will be teaching you. And I will give it over to you. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen.
Thank you very much, Monica. That was very inspirational. And as you guys can tell, that's exactly the reason why we wanted Monica to come. So as you heard with your own ears, this is a program which will be like, it makes a village to raise a child. So we are all in this together to make sure that you succeed tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and give Jackie maybe another 3 minutes, and then Jackie can tell us her journey, and then we get started after that. Thank you, and Jackie, please welcome. Jackie, you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I was trying to get it. Guys, you see a problem with technology. My unmute button was trying to unmute. I'm using two screens, so if you see that I'm not facing the camera, just I'm television, guys. I'm projecting on the television. Let me show you what I'm doing. I'll send the pictures to Migat. So I have my computer screen right in front of me, but then there's a TV right here. So for guys, learning experience, girls and guys, make it interesting from a visual perspective. How do you set up, before you come to class? What do you enjoy sitting and doing? So I'm going to talk to you about my journey a little bit, but I want to make my journey relatable to you at your age and how you can get things done. So I am in tech. I used to be in a mortgage industry when I got to America. And I first of all started working at the hotel front desk when I got here. And then I managed to get 2 jobs in America. So one was as a front desk receptionist, one was as a hotel front desk agent. When I got into the mortgage industry, I was very, very determined. So they taught me how to close loans and everything. And so I got into the back office. From the back office of the loan closing department, then I managed to transition into IT. And with that, I started on the functional side, which was sales and distribution for SAP I moved over to more technical aspects and challenges of just based on learning and grasping along the way. So it was just pretty much adding skills to what I already knew and then adding one more skill. So I was a production support manager of an implementation they had. And with that, I was able to work on technical aspects and the functional aspects in tech. Right now, I work in the security space. So I kept on shifting and moving. And the reason I'm telling you this is to understand that the career is not static. You can start from anywhere and be fluid and move in whichever directions you want. So I started from the functional side and I'm now on the technical side, moving into the cybersecurity side. So pretty much I've walked across. Some people go in a linear way and they go up, some people go across, I've done across. And I'll say that I have enjoyed all aspects of tech and cybersecurity. Really, I have sat and sitting in both those industries. Some people sit hard in tech and others sit hard in cybersecurity. So that is opening ways, and for you to understand that the skills that you pick up now, you are able to apply them in as you see fit and as you wish. What I'm going to ask you students to add is also remember the beauty of your personality. Mika said I've never really been his student because I do find what they do from the coding aspect of it, it may be far-fetched for me, but sitting in there and listening to what they say, I pick up what is enough for me and my career. So when you're sitting right now in Migot's class, ask yourself, why are you taking time on Saturday to come and sit here? 2, what are you gonna do with the skills that she's going to teach you? As Monica stated, tech is truly the next thing, honestly. You know what I mean? Other than she stated God, and she stated what you learn in school. So you guys have such a beautiful program at your hands where you start now. And then remember, whatever you're taught every Saturday, apply it on Monday, Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, so that when you're coming for the next class, then you're able to continuously apply. Ask yourself, what are you going to do at the end of this recess? The fact that you took these classes, what is going to make you so different from the other students? And then start building now. These careers pay a lot of money. It doesn't have to have a lot of money. Money, you're able to do what you want and other people. So pay attention and remember what you're taught on Saturday, apply it every day. When the next class, if there's something that you applied, raise your hand and let Migot know, hey, I used what you taught me this week in this manner. You guys remember to always have the story to tell your teacher, when he taught you something, what did you do with it? And remember, don't wait for Saturday to come and start thinking, oh, what did I gain? Use it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. You can talk about it with ease. The more you do things, the easier things become. And tech is going nowhere. So the fact that you're starting early, that's key. And Migot, with that, I say I'll end with that. Oh, and in regards to the Mamba mentality, how can I forget to tell you about the Mamba mentality? Kobe Bryant. The Mamba mentality means you work as hard as you can, and then you work harder. And do you know why? Because you can do it. Kobe was one of the best in the world because he refused to fail. How is the Mamba mentality going to apply to what you do today? It means you will apply it on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, until it becomes intuitive. Can I hear you guys say intuitive? Please unmute yourselves and let's say tech will become intuitive. Can I have the mic unmuted? We'll say tech will become intuitive. Mamba mentality. Can I please hear you say, can everyone unmute and let's say this? Tech will become intuitive. Mamba mentality. Can we say that?
Mamba.
Well, we start with tech will become intuitive. When we, what I mean by that is that it's gonna be when you're doing the basketball and you don't have to think about your move. You've done it over and over and over. You pick your ball and move because you know your brain gets it. You wake up and you're really that good. So tech will become intuitive where you don't think about what you're doing because you're so good. So let's go. Tech will become intuitive. Mamba mentality. Let's go again. Tech will become intuitive.
Tech will become intuitive.
Mamba mentality.
Mamba
mentality.
Let's go one more time. Tech will
Tech will
become
become
intuitive.
intuitive.
Tech will become intuitive.
Mamba mentality.
Mamba mentality.
So we will always start class in that way. It's gonna stick because of the Mamba mentality. One more time. Tech will become intuitive.
Mamba mentality.
Mamba mentality.
Mamba mentality.
Perfect. Thank you, me God.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was wonderful.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, thank you so much, Jackie. That's why we always want to have you around us. You pump us up. So yes. So for those people who might not know, and for those people who know, let me just emphasize Mamba. And I know I'm just saying Mamba means a crocodile. Okay. So Mamba, I mean, if you know what a crocodile is, crocodile probably has the most powerful jaw in the world. And being a reptile, I don't know why Kobe Bryant picked to choose the word, but there's also another mamba we know, that's the black mamba. Black mamba is a type of snake, very poisonous. It's in Africa. So whatever that means he probably had the vision of just being an animal. An animal means you are out there, you just have to do it, otherwise nobody will do it for you. Okay, so you have to be able to survive until you make it. All right, so thank you very much again. And now we are going to go ahead and get started. We are hitting now the very high notes. And this will be a very short class, normally for about 1 hour. We open to questions. If you don't understand anything, please raise your hand and we'll be able to answer that question. So we don't have to go all the way, and then it's when we realize that we lost everybody. So it's gonna be very interactive. We'll be online, also on WhatsApp with your parents. If you need any help, I will also be available. Esther will be available. All of us will be available for each other. So I'm not the smartest, okay? I just wanna let you know that. But I always, at the back of my mind, I always have what I call dedication. I try to dedicate the little time I have to what I do. If I read a page one time, I don't understand it, I go read it second time. If I don't understand it, I go read again. And maybe I look for some people who probably already read it and they're better off at it. And there's something we call Google. So we always do the Google thing. So in this class, you learn a lot. They'll be coming at you very fast, but please don't let it pass by. Raise your hand and ask questions, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and open it now to Esther. So Esther can guide us through the PowerPoint presentation. We are going to go ahead and get started with the history of the computing or computers. And that will start from way back when the computers were not even well known. Start with the hardware, and then we evolve slowly to what we now call the software, which is also going to be defined for you. So you know that the hardware is the physical components of a computer system, okay? And then the software are the programs which help us run the hardware parts of the computer, okay? So please, Esther, go ahead and take over. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Esther Wambui. My friends just call me S. So I'm really glad to meet you all. I welcome to the class. I'll just take you through a brief introduction of what computers are, and we will go ahead from there. In case you don't understand anything, as George has said, raise your hand. You will see it and I'll answer. Just stop me anytime. As he had mentioned, I am a student of his. He has really taught me. I feel until I can teach other people. So I would just encourage you to take everything positively. Like even if you don't get it the first time, you can always get it and you can always ask. No one will judge you or laugh at you because you don't get anything. No, that's the best thing. When you ask is when you get it. If you don't ask, you won't learn and there won't be a benefit. You know, you would have been playing games or doing something else, but you came to class and you came to class to learn. So if you don't get it, just ask. So we're going to do an introduction to computing. So computing is basically how we use computers. And so our agenda for today is, as I have listed here, we have actually heard from Monica and Jackie. I hope you can all see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So our agenda for today is as listed below. So we have had the motivation and we are going to define what computers are, then we'll know the components, then again, we'll know how does it work. So I'll just give a brief, this is just like, just basically to understand for what computers are all about. So what is a computer? If someone asks, you know, we always talk about computers. If someone asks you, what is a computer? So basically, a computer is actually kind of simple. It's not really, it's complicated, but simple at the same time. So it's just a device, it's an electronic device that accepts a set of instructions and executes them. So these instructions are what are called programs. And programs are just instructions telling the computer, do this, do this. One thing you just need to realize is that people think computers are actually smart, but they're not. They're actually dumb. So we have to give them instructions. So what else do computers do? They can as well store information, they can process, they can store the data, and they store all this in a form that is called binary. So if you have a notebook or have something, write that word down, binary. If you don't understand what it is, who can guess what binary is? Can anyone think of what the meaning is? Okay, I'll tell you. Binary always means two. So it's either one or another. So a computer will understand either 0 or 1, and we will discuss that later. For now, just understand that everything is processed and stored. Everything that goes on in a computer happens in binary form, either a 0 or a 1, either on or off, either of the two. So we interact with computers, as Monica has mentioned. We have computers right now. You remember, I just laughed when I saw that the old phone and how the TV looked like. I was like, oh, how are they watching the TV like that? But no, it has evolved and we have all this. We have smart TVs, we have smartphones, we have smartwatches, like everything, wherever we turn, we even have Alexa, Siri. Computers are everywhere. When you go to hospital, in school, you have computers everywhere. When you go to a bank, even in the car, when you're going to order stuff, when you're buying stuff, when you're buying food, we use computers everywhere. So you don't necessarily even have to learn computer to get into tech, but even right now, if you want to become a doctor, you want to become a lawyer, you want to become whatever you want to become, even an artist, if you want to go into fashion, you'll always come across computers and you'll want to be at the top of your game by learning how to use them and being good at using computers. So now here we are. So we have a computer. So I just gave a basic example of a standard computer. This is the one that looks like this. So computer has two parts. It has the parts we can see and the parts we cannot see. So think about like your body. Your body, you have parts of the body that you can see, but as well you have parts that you can't see. You have your hands, you have your legs, but inside you have your brain, you have your lungs, you can't see them, right? So a computer as well has those parts. So the external parts are like the monitor, the system unit, the keyboard, speakers if you have them, a mouse. Those you can see, you can touch them, But as well, when you open up a computer, we have these other parts inside. So we have the CPU, which is like the brain, the main part. We'll discuss all what this do. Then we have the supply unit, the power supply unit. We have a RAM, we have a graphics card, and we have all this encasing, which also encases other parts. So this can be like the internal parts of your body. And all of these are connected together in a kind of a structure, like the way you have your skeleton, like the way all parts of your body are connected to your bones. So each of these parts are connected to a motherboard. So it's called a motherboard. So it's like a board, and then you put all this stuff together. If ever you come across a computer that, not your home computer or your mom's computer, but at school, you can even ask your teacher if you can be able to see the inside of a computer. So, so how does a computer work? And before we discuss about how a computer works, I know some of you would be like, okay, Esther, you told me we have smartphones, smartwatches, all this, but you showed me this diagram. This doesn't look like a smartphone. So what is all these types of computers have all these parts, but they are smaller. If you have a laptop or an iPad or a smaller computer, they will be smaller parts or will be modified. For example, like a monitor and a keyboard, we have a smartphone which has a screen, and on the screen we have the same monitor and a keyboard that you can touch, same to the iPad, as well as a TV. But in the inside, all these components are there, but are either smaller or modified. So always know when you talk about a computer, you always have to have a RAM, CPU, these parts, all this, and they all work the same way. Doesn't matter size, shape. Computers are, what you're going to discuss are how these devices work. So when we talk about how it works, basically think of example of a toaster. So when you're toasting bread, what do? You take the bread, put it inside a toaster, then stuff happens to the bread, then it comes out. So basically that's the same thing that happens with computers. You give the computer something to work with, like that is what we call input, and we shall discuss what that is. You give it something, it processes it, then makes it into whatever you want, and then gives you an output. For example, you all are watching me on a computer, right? So what has happened, because I'm actually in Kenya, I'm all the way in Kenya, I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to a camera on a computer, I'm speaking to computer. So something is happening, I'm giving the computer what I'm talking. Something is happening in the computer, my computer and your computer as well, so that I can be able to communicate to you and you can be able to get what I'm saying. You can be able to see me, you can be able to see the PowerPoint, and you can be able to understand, to hear what I'm saying. So that is, computers do that. And it's actually really simple. It's just these 3 steps: input, process, output. But sometimes we would like to store whatever we are working with. We would like to store documents, we would like to store, something, artwork we've done, we'd like to store that. So that is an extra process that a computer does. So I talked about the input. So what is input? So input is the operation where now you enter data into the computer. So this data can either be in form of instructions you give when playing a game. When you type on a keyboard, that is data you're giving the keyboard. When I speak, when I sing, someone sings on a microphone. When you're recording music, if you ever have participated where people record in a studio or seen people like recording music, and you use a stylus on an iPad or even in the bank, sometimes you need to sign stuff on the stylus. When you're using a mouse to point and click, All those are forms of input. On your phone, when you're touching your screen, when you're typing, when you're sending a text and typing, when you're scrolling, all those are instructions. All those are now what we call input. And all this, we need to have devices that can be able to give the computer that input. So these are examples of input devices. So now what happens now? Okay, yes, we've given the computer input. And remember we said a computer will process stuff in binary form, only works with binary form. So when I'm talking, that's not binary. When you click, that's not binary. Like I'm talking so many words, I can type so many words. When I'm scrolling my phone, that's not binary. So this is where now we have the processing. And the main, remember we talked about like the human body? You see, when you're looking around, you know, what your eyes see, right? Or your hands touch, but you can see your friend, you can see your mom, you can watch TV, but when your eyes are not the ones that process that, but your brain does, right? Your brain tells you, oh, that's a cup, oh, that's a dog. So same thing with a computer. You'll use the mouse, you'll use the keyboard, but now we have a component which I remember I showed you is inside the computer, known as the CPU. So that is what processes it. So it changes all this information, audio, video, typing, everything. It changes it into binary form, either a 0 or a 1. And inside the CPU, we have two components. We have the arithmetic and logic unit. So arithmetic kind of looks like math, like, you know, arithmetic is representing maths. It's 0 or 1. So everything is changed into either a 0 or a 1. And then there's some addition done, some subtraction. That's a lot. That's why you see, like, sometimes your computer really gets hot because it's working, it's really working. That's the CPU doing that calculation and logic, thinking, should I make this a 0? Should I make this a 1? Things a lot. And that's why you can sometimes hear some sound or some, because it's working. And then now we have the control unit. Now the control unit is what now kind of tries to tell the CPU this information is coming from the keyboard, so you need to change it to this, and then directs it to the monitor. So that all happens inside the CPU. So basically all the processing. So now we're trying to make this input into now a form that can be understood. And sometimes what happens is sometimes you might want to save this information. So you might want to save information that we get from input. You might as well want to save information that is undergoing the processing, or we might as well want to save information that is being output. So we now have a storage. And remember, inside the computer, we have a RAM, we have the hard disk. So that is what we call a primary storage. Any form of storage that is inbuilt inside a computer is known as the primary storage. Any other form of storage that is not part of the computer is known as secondary storage. So primary is the main memory of the computer. Secondary is anything else that is not a part of the computer itself. As well, we can now have the internal storage. So remember in my diagram, I've blown them up. So we have the four of these were components inside the computer. So we have a hard disk, we have a solid state drive, we have BIOS, and we have the RAM. So these are internal. So most of the time, some computers have a hard disk and a hard disk drive, or you can have a solid state drive. Hard disk uses magnetic technology to store information, but a solid state drive uses the electronic technology. A solid state drive is way better than a hard disk drive. So in case you want to buy a computer, always choose one that has solid state drive. I think when you're looking at stuff to do with computers and you're looking, oh, this has SSD, HDD. So SSD is solid state drive, HDD. So it'd be like, oh, I saw. So this is what they talk about. So they tell you this has this number of gigabytes. So that is the capacity of that drive. Same as the RAM. RAM is the random access memory. So I can use an example of a library, a home library, school library. So in the library, we normally have bookshelves, right? And when you go to the library, you go and you want to read certain books. Say you have a science project, you're given a science project. So you want to do research on it and see, okay, we were told to come up with this, but you don't know exactly. So you go to the library and look for books, right? Library has so many books in shelves and shelves. So those shelves are what we can now call as hard disks, because now they're stored there, they don't move at all. But now you have a table. On your table, you put now the books you want to read. So I choose like 3 books I want to look at. And sometimes, when I used to go to the library, I used to go and get a book which has pictures to just entertain myself, not necessarily science. I can get a magazine, just, different types of books. So the table in this case becomes the RAM. So what do I mean by this? The RAM stores anything that you're working with at that moment. So when you close it, the RAM, it disappears from the RAM. So that is same thing. And the bigger the table, the bigger the number of books you can have, right? So the bigger the size of the RAM, the more the number of programs or software you can have running. So that's why you say a bigger RAM, an 8 GB RAM is way better than a 4 GB RAM, because you can be able to run multiple programs. Like you can have a game running and you're chatting with someone at the same time. You're looking at TikTok videos. You can have different windows for that. You see, that's the thing. That's what RAM helps with. Then we have the BIOS. So the BIOS now in this case is what stores the information about the computer. Like when you buy the computer, when the manufacturer of the computer creates everything, they store all the stuff that needs to make the computer work. Like boot up is stored in the BIOS, which is known as the basic input-output system. And we have now external storage devices. We have so many. These are just like examples. We have like an external hard drive. We can have USB drives, memory sticks. I don't know if you guys see this nowadays, but we have DVD, Blu-ray, and CD drives. We used to use them when I was a bit younger to put movies. That's what I used to use them for. Nowadays, and you don't see them. So we have other forms of memory, of external memories, but these are like the main components. So lastly, so we've talked about the input, we talked about the processing and storage, but most of the time we want to see an output. Sometimes you want to see stuff on the screen. Say you are playing a game, you need to see like what you're doing. You need to see the people you kill, or if you're racing, you need to see the position your car is at, And then if you're talking, you need to, like the way I said, now you can hear me. I'm talking into a microphone in my computer, but you're hearing me using the speakers in your computer. When you type a document, it prints out. So it prints out from a printer. When you use your headphones, someone put in music somewhere, like even on YouTube, someone uploaded the content on YouTube, but you're listening to it using your headphones. And your smartphone, you scroll through stuff, you go to social media, you text, you do a lot of stuff. So all that is output. So that output is now everything that has been processed, now it's thrown back at you. Like the computer now says, okay, you gave me this, I worked on it. That's how computers work. And if you didn't get anything, I can open it for questions. Thank you.
Anybody has any question so far? How are you guys feeling? Is this something you think you understand? Like, is it straightforward? All right, very good. I see some hands. That means we are really on the right track. Just remember, if you don't understand anything, it's okay to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. We are here to all learn together, okay? Okay. All right, proceed, Esther.
I think we're done for today on the hardware.
All right, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's computer hardware. Now remember, the computer hardware, like I said, those are the physical components of a computer system. Whatever you can see and touch, that's going to be the physical component. And the computer components are divided into three major parts. We have the input, and then we have the processor, and then we have the output. Now in the processor, that's where we have more stuff. So we divide the processor into several components. So inside the processor, that's the box. Normally the box you see has a lot of things in it. One of the things we have is the control unit, whatever controls everything which comes in through the computer. And then we have the memory. The memory is what actually stores temporarily what we're working on. Like if you're typing a Word document or you're typing your homework on your computer, the memory will be the one temporarily storing. Now in the memory, we have two types of memory. We have the read-only memory, which when the computer starts up is the one we normally read. That's what we call the BIOS. It's the basic input, output system. So we call it the read-only memory. Sometimes we call it ROM for ROM. And then we have the random access memory, which we sometimes call the volatile memory. When power is lost and you have not saved your work, that work will be gone forever. And that work normally is kept in what we call the random access memory. In short, we call it RAM. It's the dynamic part of the computer. And then we have the decision-making part of the computer. We call it the arithmetic logic unit. Now, arithmetic is the math we do, right? So computer, like Esther said, is always accepting our voice, our typing. It could be singing. The computer do not understand what we're giving it. We are giving it in what we call the analog. When you talk on your phone, that's analog. But the computer has the capability using what we call a software to actually convert that information you're giving it to what it can understand. So we give it analog. It is actually taking the analog part of, say, your speech or your singing or your typing and converts it to what we call digital. Now the digital part is what now we refer to as the input, which is going to be in the binary format. So it's going to be either a 0 or a 1. When that comes in, we are able to process and then we can save it. And then we can maybe retrieve it later. When we retrieve it, we are able to see it the way it was supposed to be, because the computer converts it back to analog. And then you can actually listen to yourself talking. The computer will give you back your voice. Like, hey, this is what I recorded. You can record a message and then you send it to your cousins, say in the US or your cousins in Kenya, so they can hear you as if you're talking to them live. So your phone is your computer, right? You talk to it through the microphone. The microphone is the input, okay? The computer has a brain. It will process the input based on the instruction you give it. It will save it. And then when you click submit, on your keyboard on the computer, which is also an input. It will go straight through your wireless internet or your wireless router in the house, and then go straight to your cousin. Say you're Raphael. Raphael, you have a cousin in Kenya, right? So you want to send your cousin a WhatsApp message in the morning. You say, hey, cousin, how are you doing? This is Raphael. I had a class today. Hey, are you going to join us today, or will you join us next time? And then you save. It will be saved as digitized voice. And then when you send it, your cousin's computer, it could be a computer or a phone on the other end of the world, will be able to convert that information back to analog so that they can hear. So computers basically are converter. It converts digital to analog, analog to digital. Analog being what you're saying or being what you're typing, and digital is what it converts it to, so that the computer can understand and be able to play it back. So this world, we are surrounded by so many things. When I first started computing, we did not have what we have currently. It's really improved over the years, and it's changing every day. Smartphones are not very old. They are probably around 10 years or less. And before the smartphone, we had so many other things before that, like what Monica showed you. So that's the way I would like you to also view the world. The world is very dynamic, and you want to be able to catch up with the world so that you can be somebody tomorrow, okay? There are so many big changes, and if you master this class, it will allow you to be able to understand what you need to do to be able to be part of the engineering team, okay? You want to work at NASA, or do you want to go back and just be a farmer? Whichever way you go, there's always a computer. Okay, computers in farming, computers in the software industry, the computers in the science, computers in schools, in the university. Everywhere you go, there'll be a computer. And this is making us much more productive, because I can type. Now I don't need to go to the post office and mail, send my parents a mail from the United States, which will take 2 weeks. I can type it here, send it down there. Immediately they'll go ahead and print it out using a printer. So I type using my keyboard. I use a software which is an email program, like say Gmail, to Google. It sends it to somewhere in Nairobi. Somebody in Nairobi will be able to receive it, and then they print it out. And then they can deliver it to my parent within a few minutes, probably less than 5 minutes. If I'm not sure that they receive it, I just pick up a call. I pick up a phone, and then I make a phone call. I ask them, hey, Moses, did you guys receive my email? Oh, okay, that's good. Hey, if you did not, then please check your email and make sure that you print it out so you can give it to daddy. Okay. Alternatively, if my dad had a smartphone, I just type and then I click send. All this is made possible by somebody, and that somebody is going to be you. You're going to be the one who will be working on the software or the hardware, which we will be using tomorrow. And we want you to be part of that. The only way you can be part of that is by getting involved. So you come to class, and then we learn. We are going to learn every day. Go to your Google Classroom, read the notes. If you don't understand it, it's okay. Okay? Just let somebody know. I'll be online. Just ask me, like Martin. Martin always, like, what do I need to do here? Okay, can you send me the Zoom link in the email? Immediately, you did not have to call me. And then I just immediately send it to him. Okay? So that's how we are going to go ahead and do this thing. So since I said when we got started, my name is George Ndedi, okay? You can call me George if you want, okay? I don't mind, okay? but I want you to walk with us in this journey so that tomorrow I'll be able to call you, okay? Raf, I'll be able to call you so that you can talk to the future students of tomorrow. Say, Raf was my student. Raf's gonna talk to you about what we learned 3 months ago. How do you feel about that, Raf? Is that good? You're mute, right?
What?
How do you feel about talking to the students of tomorrow? Can you tell them what you learned today?
I can, but I might say it nervously.
Say again?
I can, but I might say it nervously.
Okay, that's fine. I'm also very nervous, but you see, I'm still talking to you. It's all good. How about Matt and Andrew? Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
All right. All right. I see family rules behind you there. Can you read for me what the family rules are telling us today?
It says, be thankful, respect each other, say I love you, listen to your parents, tell the truth, say please and thank you, keep your promises, use kind words, know your love, and give hugs and kisses.
Wonderful. I cannot say anything other than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it again. If you have any question, please ask. If you're shy, you can tell your mommy or your daddy to ask for you. I'm gonna give you 1 or 2 minutes to ask questions, and then we'll go ahead and call it a day. But remember, tomorrow is another class, so please come, okay? If there's anything you don't like, let me know so that we can rectify that. But I'm sure you really enjoy the class. Did everybody enjoy the class? Can I see a show of hands? Very good, very good. All right, any question? Okay. Hey, Jackie, you want to add some more before they leave?
Yes,
Go ahead.
I would love to say, students, that I am also learning a lot. So learning never really stops. So as today you were picking up Esther and Migat, I am also picking up stuff. I'm like, wait, I didn't know. That's kind of cool. So it's also just absorbing it and feeling free then to ask questions. And, while we sit here as a team, it's asking Esther, asking me, God, asking me, and also me asking you, did you understand? Or you feeling free to ask me, did I understand? Because I don't know everything that they're talking about, but I'm learning as well. And also, I believe, was it Raphael who talked about being nervous, presenting the work? I'm here, I don't know everything, and I'm stating to you that I don't know everything. So it's just being vulnerable enough to say, listen, I didn't understand this part, but stopping at that point and then learning at that point. It is okay, we learn forever.
That's true, that's right. Very good. Thank you so much, Jackie.
You're welcome.
And I look forward to again seeing you all tomorrow. We will be having session Saturday and Sunday for 1 hour each. So please feel free, if you have any question, put it on WhatsApp. If for some reason you cannot remember now, it's okay. Just put it out there and then we will be able to answer it for you. Okay. So with that said, I'm gonna open again any question. All right. Looks like we're good, right? Oh, you have a question, Matt? Go ahead, please. Is that Matt or Andrew? Go
Matt,
ahead. All right, Matt.
is the class for tomorrow the same one as today?
It's gonna be more or less the same one, but we're gonna be able to go a little bit beyond what we covered today. So it's gonna be like today we cover, and then tomorrow we cover part of what we covered today, but we go a little bit extra so that we can progress. We'll be having 4 sessions this month. Saturday, Sunday, until early next month. So everything we cover today is recorded and will be posted. Okay, we'll post on YouTube and then we'll send a link to the WhatsApp And then you'll be able to see yourself and hear yourself talk. And then you'll be able to also listen to what Esther, what Jackie, and what Monica said. Okay, and then that way it will be able to help you understand and remember. Okay. Any other question? Nate, do you have any question? Are we good? Okay. So I'm gauging, I know we are different, like different ages. So if that calls for, let's say, splitting the class into two, I'll be able to do that so that we can see where everybody's at. So for today, we just had to have only one so we can bring everybody together. But that decision I'll be able to float on the WhatsApp group, and the parents will help me with that so that we can see some of the people. They probably already know what we're talking about, but it's not really bad to repeat so that we understand better, because very soon we are going to get started programming. It's going to be very easy, but you'll be able to program your own website. Okay, and then very soon you'll also be able to program your own games. How good is that? All right, thank you everyone, and you all have a good day, okay? Remember, everything you do, God first, okay? Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Remember, you can program your own kids, your own games very soon. So just pay attention until we get to that part.
Bye. Yes,
Bye.
thank you.